Tashomi's Harmony and Hustle.
I have a friend who's an amazing pool player. Mm-hmm. And I think he heard me one night. Maybe I wasn't sounding as good as normal or something. And he was like, just in a really calm way, he's like, you gotta keep the sword sharp.
Wow.
You know? Yeah, kind of thing. And he does. Like, he's in his mid to late 40s or whatever. And he smokes everybody, you know, and he's always practicing. He's always getting on it too, but he says, you gotta balance it all. You gotta balance it all. Make sure that that talent that you have stays that talent that you have.
Yeah.
And don't ever drop it.
How you guys doing today? You okay? Man, it's rare that I say today. Normally it's tonight. We're gonna go on right now with a song by the great John Coltrane entitled Naima.
Spare candles, just in case.
Just in case.
I love that.
Wow, we are prepared.
Oh man, it's like we planned to do this.
Cheers.
Cheers. Jay, I appreciate you, bro.
You as well, Tashomi.
Thanks for having me over.
Definitely.
Where did I see you last? We were in Soho?
Soho.
Yeah, for a birthday party. That was that was fun.
That was interesting. I don't know how late you stayed. But,
No, I didn't stay that late.
Okay.
I remember you left straight after.
I kind of did.
Yeah, and it was all going south really quickly.
Yeah.
I guess south is relative.
It is. I mean, north is where they were going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were having a great time.
It was you had to just sort of join it, or you know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
it's one of those.
and I was like, this is fun, but I'm gonna go home now.
Yeah,
It's
me too.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when your set's cut in half by the birthday girl because she just wants to chat.
Yep.
And twerk.
She was and twerk. Yeah, and her dress kept on going all over the place.
Yeah. That was.
There's a great video actually. I can't remember who took it. And they're just sort of filming the gig and everyone's dancing, yada yada yada. The video pans over, and there's a birthday girl and her dress is up and it's just cheeks. I'm like, wow. So that was the gig. Yeah, great memories.
In a nutshell.
Oh dear, yeah. I was hesitant to taste her cake because she was twerking all over the birthday cake. I was like, don't have that much of a sweet tooth anymore. Oh man, but yeah, good fun, man. Really good fun. And great playing with you, brother.
You too, bro.
So, obviously, trumpeter extraordinaire, to say the very least. I remember actually the first time I got to play, I was excited because I'm like, I've heard your name mentioned in so many circles, but never actually had the opportunity to play with you. So that time in, I think we said it was Mallorca, wasn't it?
I think it was
that may
Mallorca,
have been the first time we played together. That was a real blessing, man. But yeah, you've been playing for a long time now, and now you've made music your kind of way of being. It's what you do full time. But how did you start? Where did you start?
Well, I started. How did I start? I mean, the very beginning was because the parents in my local area in Canada, Vancouver, heard about an art school, and this art school, they're playing.
Yeah. Nah, these mics are pretty good.
They're pretty different. Okay, and they heard of this art school, and it was like a drive away, about an hour's drive away, but there was like a a shuttle bus, but then they had to do a carpool system. But basically, this school had like a really dedicated arts program.
Okay.
And what it meant was that half of the day was kind of dedicated to the arts.
Great.
And then the rest was dedicated to academia, which is great. But then they wanted you to choose an instrument and all these kind of things. And I went there then the year before I should have left my elementary school. So I was like 11 years old. And I picked up the trumpet because they had 2 instruments left. You'll like the story, actually. They had a saxophone and a trumpet.
Oh, wow.
And what happened was, my mother didn't let me choose the drums. Drums was the first thing I asked to play, and you had to get like a form filled out or something and signed by your parents. And my mother looked at it and said, choose again.
Oh, wow.
And then there was the trumpet and the sax.
Yep.
The sax looked fiddly, had all these keys, and it just looked difficult. And the trumpet had 3 buttons, and I was like,
Straightforward enough.
There we go. So, yeah, right? Well, lo and behold, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
You know, not to like hate on saxophone players, but I think I know more saxophone players than I do trumpet players.
Yeah, same.
Good ones.
Yeah.
Good ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But hey, regardless, anything is difficult after a while. You know what I mean? You have to master something or to get to an expert sort of point. Takes a lot of hours, many hours by yourself,
Yes.
dedicated to the thing. And I had great teachers coming up. So I had a year at this school, and then I went back to my other school, and then kept kind of like going up to the next following years and stuff to then the high school, and we had a great jazz program there. And so that was, again, like everything wasn't in my local area, so my poor mother, and you know what? Props to my mom, because she always was the one who would have to drive me there or figure out how I would get here or there.
Yeah.
And it was never the local easy situation. Even to the point with the high school, it was then even further than the local one. So this wonderful mother of mine, who lives here in London still.
Correct.
Yeah, which is, we'll get into one of the reasons why the reason I'm here. But she used to take me to the high school, and then I was there kind of a year before than I should have been. So the music sort of ended up being the catalyst that took me to these various institutions kind of before I should have been there,
Right.
in a way. And that's how I got into music, and then the rest is sort of history in a way. I mean, jazz music was the thing. I'm a trumpet player, so there's only like classical or jazz you can choose. And I had a classical teacher at the beginning who was, it's funny, the story goes like, there was a local great trumpet player who, his name's Brad Turner, and he's like, man, phenomenal trumpet player in Vancouver. And he's also can play a million other instruments as well. Not like me, I'm pretty much on the trumpet and a little bit of keys.
Yeah, yeah.
But this guy, man, he could do so much, and I wanted him to be my trumpet teacher. And so I remember approaching him once, and he said to me, "You're just not there yet." Like, for me to teach you, it'd kind of be a waste of my time and stuff like that. Why don't you go to my trumpet teacher, the guy who taught me? And so I went to his guy, who was like old school symphony. He played in the symphony orchestra, the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra. He's by the book kind of guy. Like, don't mess with this guy. And he taught me how to properly play the trumpet.
Yeah.
His name was Ray Kirkham. And he always wanted me to be in the orchestra and wanted me to be a classical trumpet player. And there was a definitive point in my life where one day he got so mad at me. Tashomi, man. He got so mad at me. So I was to do a recording session. And the band that I was recording with said, this is the time, and I had a lesson with him during the same time, at the same time. And I called my trumpet teacher. I said, I can't make it. I have my first ever recording session. I was like 16 or 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's not good enough. You're never going to be anything if you do. He just came down on me so hard. He's like, you have to have these lessons and go through this rigorous process before he's like, these will come. These will come. And he dropped me at that point.
Wow.
Right then and there, he dropped me. He said, we're no longer having lessons.
This isn't gonna work.
Yeah, this isn't gonna work. I was like, okay.
Wow.
He said, if you do that recording session, it's over. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I did it.
And you did it, and it was over.
And it was over. And I had never heard anyone come down on me like that before. It was like pretty harsh, this guy. He was an American guy, I think, originally. And so he was like,
yeah, sure.
but you need that in life. There's not enough of that in this day and age, right? And so, you know, that was my fork in the road.
Yeah, sure.
That told me whether I was going to kind of be a classical trumpet player or not. And it's very hard to play classical trumpet, as precise as it is, right? It takes a lot of diligence in one area, and I liked the sound of jazz. I was getting into it. I was starting to enjoy it and learn about Louis Armstrong and Dizzy Gillespie and all these people. And the story of the music, I was loving it. And at that point, I was like, I think I'm gonna look into jazz.
Yeah, great, great.
And then I started learning about what's happening here in England, and my mom married Dennis Rollins, trombone player.
Wow.
And she said, do you want to come to England?
Fair.
And I was like 16. And I thought, ooh. Now my dad, I could have stayed with my dad in Vancouver, which would have been okay. He's not a musician, he's not into music or anything like that, whereas my mom was like a promoter already in music. She was marrying Dennis, and she pushed me all these years, and she was like, do you want to come to England or do you want to stay in Vancouver? And I was like, whoa, wow, this is like my life's decision right now. Big decision for a 16-year-old, you know?
Absolutely.
So I came.
Great.
And because what happened was we kind of did a recce about 6 months earlier. She was already with Dennis at the time, and I thought, okay, let's check the situation out. I started peeping what Tomorrow's Warriors was about, and they said, hey, if you come, you can be a part of it. And so the generation before me that was doing their thing at the time was Soweto Kinch and Andrew McCormack and Tom Skinner and these guys. And then we became the next Tomorrow's Warriors as a result of me coming and joining Shaney Forbes and Nathaniel Facey and then the story continues, but you can ask me a few questions in between that.
Oh man,
that sort of like trails into like, you know, getting into jazz and stuff.
Sure. There's a lot there, man. There's a lot there. There's making the decision to come to the UK and make music. And
in 1999.
In 99.
Yeah. I'm 43.
You're 43? Yeah. Man, you don't look a day over 42.
Oh, hey!
I've used that one before, but it works. It works. Oh, wow. No, that is absolutely incredible. So at 16, you make the decision based on music. Why? Why was music that intriguing to you that you was prepared to go on that journey, go to another country, go from your father, from everyone, not everybody you know, because you're going with Mum and Dennis, but still, it's quite the step for what is an open end.
It's interesting. Like, you know, you try things when you're growing up. I tried so many things, to do so many things. My mom, she put me in a lot of programs and situations. Here's a funny story.
Go on.
So I was 9 years old. Like, my mother put me in everything. Yeah, like from karate to pottery classes to tennis lessons to like, bless her, you know? And this one's funny. So she put me in jazz dance.
Great.
I'm 9. And I arrive on the first day. I'm the only boy.
Yep. You got your pick of the class now, do you know what I mean?
And it wasn't like I had to take the bus for the first time in my life, and you know, at 9 or whatever, just to go like few stops down,
Yeah.
but that was big. Anyway, so the second class, I didn't turn up. I went and saw the squash. They were playing squash in the same, community center, whatever. I turned up only to the first one ever. Never again, but I kept going. Like, I was lying to my mom at that age. It's really bad. And so I never went back to jazz dance, but she tried so often to get me into various things. She said once, and this is so cute, she said, maybe one day you'll be mingling with rich people, rich folks, and you'll need to know how to play tennis.
Great.
I'm putting you in tennis lessons.
Great. I love that.
And she did. And I can play
And
tennis.
you can play, yeah. Have you mingled with those rich folk?
I have. And we did it. Where was it? It was somewhere recent as well. And I brought the story up to the rich person.
Yes.
I said, this is hilarious because...
yeah.
And you're the rich person.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
mum manifested that one.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it's so funny how the world works,
Oh,
right?
my goodness.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's funny, actually. I started smoking cigars because I'm like, this is the kind of thing that rich, established people do.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
How?
That's how I started anyway, chilled on with a very sore throat. But man, and then I find myself, when I'm ever gigging in, let's say, Italy and Naples, there's like a really nice cigar lounge there, and I start figuring out cigar lounges, and lo and behold, there's a certain type of person you find in a cigar lounge. Do you know what I mean? Just be kind of interesting people. So I get your mum on that one. I get it. It does come full circle.
And so we tried so many things, and then we landed on the music.
Yeah.
The trumpet, for some reason, we went to this art school. I've kind of got decent pretty quickly. She took it seriously.
Yeah.
Before I did. I couldn't play with my friends suddenly until I practiced.
Great.
I was like, raw, like, what are we doing here? And she's like, you're becoming a trumpet player kind of thing. And this is what you're excelling in, And like I said, she put me in so many things. I tried track and field.
Yeah.
I was okay, but this thing I was better at. And it came to me a bit quicker. And I started being able to play the blues a little bit.
Great.
My cousin, there's so many stories, but my cousin is friends with this guy who's a classical piano player who lives in New York. And he lived in the same building as Wynton Marsalis. In fact, knew him. Always saw him in the lift. Was 5 stories below him or above him or whatever it was. And went to his concert in Vancouver, and my friend said, I'll be able to introduce you. I know him.
What a
kind
dream.
of thing. And Wynton, I was 15 at the time, like pretty young, but not young enough to be as nervous and play as shit as I did. So Wynton speaks to me, passes me his horn, says, let me hear you play.
Oh my gosh. Shivers right now, man. What?
And the mouthpiece just felt like a bathtub around my face. It just felt like, it didn't feel like the trumpet mouthpiece I knew. His one was bigger and deeper, and I mean, now I know it was. Like, he plays a deeper mouthpiece from the classical days, and to get a big fat sound and stuff like this, which I do now, but at the time, I had a smaller kind of shallower mouthpiece. So I play his, and he said, play me the blues.
Great.
And I didn't really know how to play the blues. Didn't really know the form. Just try to play some stuff, bluesy things. And he was like, all right, cool.
Nice to meet
So
you, kid.
practice, signed my picture of him. He's like, practice.
Amazing.
Practice.
Yeah.
And I did. And I tried to get to a point, in the playing, and transcriptions and understanding of the music, and loved Clifford Brown and Freddie Hubbard and Wynton Marsalis, and wanted to get to the point of hopefully one day being able to play like these guys or something like that. And love the music. The music is a beautiful blessing, and it's, it's our classical music as Black people, as people of color, as, my mother's family's from the Caribbean, actually. So her dad's from Montserrat.
Okay.
Originally, the family's from Montserrat. So that high art form for us is what we have to be able to say, we're fucking intelligent.
Yeah.
You see? We are intelligent. Look, listen, this is the highest of high art forms. And to be able to play this music isn't just like a weekly thing. It's a lifelong process.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it is.
Which appeals to me, because I seem to be the kind of person who wants a challenge, likes a challenge, and likes to seek things out and dig into things. And so I did, and so I do.
Yeah.
And yeah, jazz it's always been there for me. Jazz has been there for me, and it hasn't as well. And I have a love-hate relationship with it, because what is jazz in 2026? It is what they tell you it is sometimes, and it is what you want it to be. And I always see jazz personally as what I want it to be.
Yeah.
And that to me is the sacred part of my life.
Yes.
We might do gigs like the one that we did recently and stuff like that. But, when I do jazz gigs, I'm not always hoping that it's going to pay me millions of pounds, and it does sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, it can be a wonderful thing where you can earn from it. And I think that there's a handful of people that can really earn from it. And you know what? It's a beautiful thing when certain people can really stretch and find that. And I found in my life, it's kind of come in waves, where I can be really super creative and everyone gives a shit, and then not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when the wave is like this, you do what you do.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And this is the whole being an artist thing, or trying to be something like that.
Yeah.
Is like, I mentioned the names I mentioned before, the Wynton Marsalis, the Freddie Hubbards, and these guys were artists. They were treated as people who could produce something that someone would want to hear.
Yes.
And I always wanted to be that. And I think today in 2026 it's hard to solely be that, and to put a roof over your head, and to eat organic chicken, as we were talking about before, and stuff like that. I hate to say it sometimes, but as I'm getting older, I seem to think that, some of, and not all of, but some of jazz is a young man's game.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
And I would love for it to not be, but financially speaking, unless you're one of the 5 people that's being given the keys to the city, it's hard out here.
Yep.
And like I say, sometimes I am given those keys, and then sometimes those keys seem to be taken away from me, and it's that give and take, and to be able to put that roof over your head, you can't just do one thing today. Yes. Unfortunately.
Yes. Yes. We're in a really interesting, unique position, because as musicians, like you said, it's your heart's desire to express yourself and to get that out there. And it's not even like just, I'd like to do this because it's fun. There's this burning desire to speak. And we have instruments that have a way of explaining and expressing some of the things that maybe even we can't consciously express through words or even actions, but through a sound. Like my partner, she would say to me, sometimes I know you best when you just play your sax. I could really figure out where you're at. Actually, when you play, do you know what I mean? And when I'm playing the piano, she's like, oh, that's where he's at today.
Right.
Like, there's a form of expression, and that, I think, it almost feels like a burden because I can't live without getting it out. But at the same time, those organic steaks from the butchers down in Hampstead, they ain't cheap.
They ain't cheap.
And just doing the creative living, it's fulfilling, absolutely. Every now and again, we have to take a gig where the birthday girl's twerking on a birthday cake, which is not so much the highbrow jazz that I kind of got into. Do you know what I mean? It's not exactly the places I thought I was going to be at the beginning, but in order to sustain the whole thing, I've got to be realistic about the game. I've got to diversify.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
How have you diversified with your?
It's been very interesting. So, one sec.
Bottoms up.
Bottoms up. My mother, and I always go back to her because she's the one who got me into this shit in the first place.
Careful.
But she always used to think of me and say, because she wanted me to play more piano back in the day. I just couldn't get my head around the piano as much as I could the trumpet for some reason. Like, fiddly, and some people gravitate towards it. Like you say, you play maybe quicker than others and easier than others, and for some reason I just wasn't getting it. And so she would always call me a one-trick pony. My mother. Right? Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
But in a way I was. And in the creative industry, it's good to kind of be able to do a few things sometimes. And you can't always just rely on being able to do one thing. And so, but the trumpet is hard.
Yeah, of course it is.
The trumpet is not an easy instrument, it's a very, to be, to sound decent on it, to not crack notes all the time, to have a pure sound and all that, takes a lot of practice, right? Which I did, and I still do. But then again, like I said, it's 2026. You want to keep the roof over your head and shit like that, stuff like that. And I feel like there was a point when I didn't know what I could do to diversify. Lockdown hit. I started, I had met a businessman before lockdown at one of these members clubs that I played at. And he kind of took a shining to me, not in that kind of way, but he was a nice enough guy, right? And I said that I had an idea, and he kind of heard my idea, and we kind of sort of went into business together, but it just, lockdown hit 3 weeks later, like the thing, and I put money into it,
Basically.
and it was a really big pill to swallow. Yeah. What it was about was, because he had a big pot of money, and he was like, I told him, sometimes musicians don't get paid right away, and sometimes people want their money right away. And he says, well, we could sort that out, sort of thing. I was like, shit, this sounds interesting. The thing hit, no one had money. No one had gigs. There was no gigs to even ask about money, And so the thing kind of like took a bit of a tumble from there, as well as some money. But I learned a lot from this man. He had me up at 9 a.m. every day through lockdown.
Great.
For like almost a year, like 8 months or something like that. 9 a.m., 9 a.m., 9 a.m. Whereas some people were just chilling. I was up at 9 a.m. doing stuff with this guy and working and understanding his brain, because he was a very quick thinker. Anyway, so that happened, but as a result, I gained some knowledge, and I thought, you know what? I wonder if I could do something with this. Well, what happened was a job came up for the Crown.
Great.
And during the period of lockdown, movies were still moving and grooving. I don't know if you did anything on TV.
I did something on The Crown.
Oh, there you go.
Season 1 or 2?
It's like 5 or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little bit after me.
Deep in.
Yeah, sure.
And the person who contacted me was like, oh, don't suppose you know any other urban musicians?
Ah, that's
like,
it.
oh.
Of course.
You don't mean black people, do you?
Just get to the podcast.
Yeah. And she was like, right?
Yes, black.
Anyway, as a result, I did the thing. I got some people some work.
Great.
And I was like, cool. Got asked again to do some stuff. Similar question was asked for something else. And I was like, interesting. This means that this authentic, because everything's 1930s this, and you want an authentic look of jazz and all this, right? And I was like, okay, so we're not on your books. I'm gonna make the books.
Come on.
So that was what I did with this company called Soul Endeavor. So I started putting an agency together. I brought someone on board called Tara, and she's like a friend of a friend who knew some legal stuff. She works with a legal firm. And so we got to the point where we got some jobs in, and we were working with HBO was our first job with this thing called Landscapers, this movie, series or whatever. And the work started coming in, Black Lives Matter, hey, we're doing the thing. And I was like getting work for us and for everyone. It wasn't like a racist company or anything. It was for everyone, but with a strong focus on diversity and inclusion and the things that most of these agencies who have to do with musicians in film don't think about. You know what I mean? And that's why they struggle at the very last point, the 11th hour, they're like, oh, we need musicians of color. And suddenly, do you know any? No. Do you know any? No. Oh, wait. And then you realize that none of the industry, and I'm sorry to say, but none of the industry knows people of color, has black friends. Because if you did, you would then be able to do a 6 degrees of separation and finally get some black musicians. Suddenly there was this call that was put out to anyone who might know some people of color, and it just so happened that I got the call, and that's how it felt. Maybe that's not how it was.
But that was your experience.
But that was my experience, and that's how it felt at the time. And you know what? We got work as a result. My company started building, and it was a great thing. Black Lives Matter, when that started trickling out, so did the work. As I said, it wasn't just like a black company only hiring black people for things, right? But it was a black-owned company, you know, something that has to do with, and that was on my mind all the time, was inclusion and keeping people in work and thinking about us. Don't be lazy, right? And it wasn't just about people being seen, although that was a part of it, because we're always seen. We're always on, we need a black roll, brown roll, someone on camera. When are we doing the recording? When are we with the BBC orchestra?
You see, that's another.
So actually, this actually comes to the point, the real point here. This company didn't start, like I said, when it did at the beginning of lockdown. It actually started 15 years ago when I did this show called Dancing on the Edge. It was a BBC show. There was me and a whole host of black musicians in the black band, right? And there was a white band. It was a TV show about that kind of, it's a murder mystery. Chiwetel Ejiofor was our band leader. It was a great thing, right? Directed and written by Stephen Poliakoff, who was like a well-known writer and director. Anyway, did we get to do the recording? We mimed, but we didn't get, until one day when they needed me and the other trumpet player to do the recording because there was something that they had to film, and it was better that we did it, right? I'll never forget this. We arrived to the BBC studios, me and Chris, and the whole band is white, right? It's the BBC jazz band or whatever it is, right? They are recording both the black and the white band's parts. we are musicians, all of us, right? But no one, I mean, the thing is, when you really break it down, you realize that it's actually the composer who knows the people who then they bring in their people, but it's usually the composer who, and hey, 15 years ago, it was different to today.
Yeah.
It was a bit different. But nonetheless, I still feel that it's slightly lazy. And it's definitely lazy today, you know? So when I walked into that room as a 23, 4-year-old guy, I was like, oh, so this is who we're miming for. Because I was on set for 4 months of this thing, and we were miming for someone, and I was always wondering, who are we miming for? And I arrived, and I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
So what happened that day, I said to myself, this needs to change. So then 15 years later, this company starts, and I was like, this all started then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we need to be seen more, but not only just seen more, we need to be recording ourselves.
We need to be on the credits.
We need to be on the credits.
Absolutely.
We need to be heard.
Absolutely.
We need to be given the credit that we can actually play as well, right? And it's great that there's lots more. I mean, yes, 15 years ago, there might not have been as many jazz musicians of color who could really play, could really read, you know, all that stuff goes with it. Today, there's more, and you know, it gets more and more, and as time goes on. But my company, so you're saying, how did I diversify? This company was me diversifying, you know what I mean? So that was one of the steps to doing something else. The work kind of dried up a little bit, but now it's actually coming back a little bit. And I'm having to, you know, think about how to reform the company a little bit.
Great.
But I also DJ now.
Oh, sick.
That's a big difference. And that actually brings me weekly earnings.
Oh, fantastic.
And that came, again, through lockdown. My wife's mother wanted to see me play, and her friends. And most of them were like single ladies at home. And during lockdown, it was, you know, probably a bit of a depressing time. Probably they were alone and didn't have much to do. And so they were like, is Jay playing anywhere? No, because it's lockdown.
Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, maybe they can't see me play. Let's figure this out somehow. I'll do a YouTube something.
Yeah.
Remember OBS? And we were doing things with OBS and figuring how to do it through YouTube. And it's hilarious. The story is funny, but I started like with Logic, and I just went, I downloaded the tracks, and then just went track.
There we go.
Track. And then audio track for the trumpet, and then press play and record, and just played the trumpet. I didn't DJ. I was just watching the thing play and like have it hosting the night kind of thing, right? Yeah. And then one day I said to myself, I need to learn how to do this thing. Like, come on. Let's buy a DJ, a deck, some kind of decks. So I bought some decks. You know, if you build it, they will come mentality.
That's how it works.
And so I just figured it out. And then I had a friend, JJ, who's a French guy. He lives in LA now. And he was like, if you book out Pirate Studios, I'll give you some lessons.
Great.
And he did. I learned. He's like, you'll learn it quick because you're a musician. You know the beat and stuff like that. So I started getting into it, started learning how to do it and how to mix tracks, and it's an art form. You know, once you get into anything, past the beginner stage, everything becomes an art form, right? And so I now enjoy the art form of DJing and mixing, and I'm quite decent at it now. It's been 5 years that I've been doing it. It's half my earnings now.
Wow.
As a DJ trumpet player.
Yes.
I mean, most of the time I'm playing trumpet as well. Yeah. And that's how I'm able to, you know, get a little extra on the feet. But yeah, that's sort of the situation these days, and that's mainly how I've expanded on a day-to-day.
Are you still able to keep the trumpet alive? Are you still able to do maybe some of those jazz gigs? Well, now I guess maybe you can, because of these other gigs, you can now subsidize and maybe do a jazz gig here and there.
I can and I do. And I mean, the jazz gigs, because I've been around for a while, You know, I've been on the scene for a while, and you know, I was in a band called Empirical. We've toured, and I'm known nationally. That's my wood.
Pause.
Pause. It's a construction site here right now. Anyway, that's hilarious. And I've been on this scene for a long time now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like nationally, I'm known, and I can still kind of book tours and stuff like that if I can be bothered. You know,
sure.
sometimes to just go about the country to be paid the same thing as what you do to be just in the city is a bit of a ball ache, but then again, it's nice to push yourself and challenge yourself and play that jazz music
exactly.
and still feel the spirit.
Who are your inspirations?
I mean, growing up, they were who I mentioned before. Now, now my inspirations, it's funny. I'm not saying like I don't have inspirations, but I kind of do my thing now.
Yeah.
No one does what I do, so I can't be inspired by anybody in a way these days. Yes, I love Nicholas Payton as a trumpet player. Yes, I love Sean Jones as a trumpet player, you know, as a trumpet player. But solely being a trumpet player doesn't pay all my bills.
Yep.
And I have to navigate that every day. So my inspiration is time. The time I have to do things right now. Right now, as we saw before, I'm building a greenhouse and a steam room and another greenhouse over there. I want to be able to eat my own food. A bit of a protest to the supermarkets a little bit, and the ghastly prices, and everything's going up all the time. It's nice to be able to have something that's a little bit of your own.
Yes.
You know. But another way, that I expanded, I've been acting recently. I was in a play.
Oh,
I was
yes,
in
you
Miles.
was. Yes, you was. Yes, you was. That's
and that was my
fantastic.
first time ever acting. So like I came up with the concept for this play.
Yeah, tell us about it, man.
I didn't really understand how to go about it, but I had been touring Kinda Blue, which I still am. Maybe one day it'd be nice to have you on the game.
Oh man, listen, if the invite's there, I'm there, brother. Honestly.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it. And so basically, I've been touring Kinda Blue. I love Miles Davis, and it came about because I had a gig at the Jazz Cafe. Rest in peace, Martin Hummel, who is behind Ubuntu Records. He got me the gig originally and said, "Do you want to do this sort of like tribute-ish thing, playing Kinda Blue at the Jazz Cafe?" I was like, no. I was putting out my own record at the time. I was like, I'm in my creative sort of zone. He's like, it'll probably be a good thing to do. I was like, okay, fine, you know.
Yeah.
So I did it, sold out show.
Great.
I did the next one next year, sold out, and did like 3-4 sold out shows like
Guess it was worth
consecutively.
it,
I guess so. And then I thought, you know what? People seem to like this album. Miles actually never toured it himself.
People seem to like this album. It's all right. Yeah,
It's all right.
People seem to like it. I dig it.
I dig it. And Miles never toured it himself.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he played some of the songs live, but he actually never toured it as a project. And so I thought, you know what? People are coming to this thing. It'd be great to bring it around the country. So we did. I booked some things around and went around and played it with some great musicians. And then during the touring time and being on the road, I thought, I wonder if we could I could tell the story a bit more than just a gig. Maybe as a theater piece, a play or something. And a few years back, I had been working with this guy called, his name is Oliver Catterby, and he runs a company called Delirium. And he was working with Lauren Reed, who's a producer, and they needed a trumpet player for one of their plays who maybe could speak a few lines, and I did, and I was really nervous about the lines. More nervous about that than the whole playing, you know. And then I just remembered them, and I thought, I wonder if they would want to take this project on board. And we had a meeting. They were like, yeah, this sounds great. Let's do it. And he's a writer. So he was like, leave it to me. I'll write the script, but will you play Miles? And I was like, no. Me playing, I don't look like him. None of that. I don't want to do that. So, no. I said, think again and maybe, come up with something else. And he did. And what he came up with was what we're working with now, which is Miles. It's called Miles. It's about Miles Davis. Miles is there, but he's also kind of confronting this young trumpet player called Jay Phelps, who is signed to Columbia Records and given the opportunity to go to the studio that Miles was in, where he recorded Kinda Blue, and who appears when Jay goes there? Miles, chatting shit, saying, because Jay is in the studio playing and Miles is like, what's that kind of thing? It's too many notes and all that, right? That's how it starts. Thing is, I'd never really acted before. Like I said, a couple lines in the other thing called Lifeline. But Ollie was like, you'll be fine. Hands me a 40-page script. It's like, enjoy. And like, I've never even spoken for that long in front of people. The most I've done is like, the next song is bloody blah. And it has to do with this, maybe. And Maury, my wife, who's Sky News anchor and also been, studied acting and whatnot, said, you'll be fine, I'll help you.
Great.
Put on the Miles voice and all. It was hilarious.
You're not practicing.
Yeah, all that. Man, what you doing? And I was like, this is also really funny. So I got to it. I got to work. And I got the script down and started acting. And was okay with it, But I had to act against, no, that's not the word. I had to act with Benjamin Akintiosi, who's just fresh out of RADA, been training for years. He's only 22, but he's a ridiculous talent.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. And totally embodies Miles Davis and studies him every single day that we were doing it.
Amazing.
Like through and through in the breaks, in the dressing room, it's just like Miles. I thought I was with Miles the whole time. It was great. And so I've been doing that for the last little while. Just finished that a month ago now. And as I said, this little project I have in the back here with the greenhouse has been my safe space as a result of getting through that, which was a lot for me, a big challenge, big challenge to act and play and do all the things that I was meant to do and really be on the case. Because we did it in Edinburgh for a month during the Fringe Festival in August. And then we've done a month at the Southwark Playhouse. And that was for the month of March. In fact, 5 weeks. And from Edinburgh to then was an additional 30 minutes in the script. So it was 60 minutes, now it was an hour and a half. So there was a lot to do. We never left the stage. There was like a lot of being on, you know what I mean? I went out one night in Edinburgh. I regret that night so much. I forgot so many lines.
Wow.
Benji was looking at me like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because he also knows your lines as well.
And he was looking at me like, you okay? And I was like, well, that's the last time I can go out. I can have a drink maybe, but like, I got a little tip, No, man. It's like,
gotta lock in.
Yeah, really gotta lock in. So it's not that acting is, obviously I haven't done it before. It's not that it's harder or anything like that, but it's all embodying,
Yeah, of course.
You have to really be on it, on the case. So in Edinburgh, we were swimming every day. We were going to the gym every day. We were like monks kind of thing, It was nice. It was nice to have that period of time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How do you come to the decision that I'm gonna do the things that I want to do?
Interestingly enough, I just do it. And if
It's that simple.
I just throw this shit against the wall, and if it sticks, I go with it. And I throw a lot of shit. And that's the point.
Yeah.
And I think what we're coming to here is like, I work a lot. Not that I necessarily get up super early or anything like that, but I'll probably, even tonight, be doing stuff till like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
My morning is more my night. And I conceptualize a lot. I try to figure shit out. I try to come up with concepts for various gigs, for various just things my company can do, or, you know, I'm kind of on a lot. So like when people like, I'm a bit of a drag, like in my older age, because I don't go to the pub as like with people as much and all that kind of stuff. I don't really do that. I like to stay home. I like to get things organized, and as I said, I'm trying to buy some land and things like this. And like, maybe this is just an adult version of me talking, but I never used to really go to the pub and stuff, and maybe that's why I didn't get some of the gigs that some of the other people used to get, because I didn't do some of the chit-chatty things. I just did me a lot. And so I think as a result, you know, I've only just opened a pension.
Great.
Only just though.
Yeah,
like she's been on my case for time. So like I haven't had money for years. You know, I've only just started being able to afford things in my life over the last, like, you know, 8 years, let's say. But that's when I started doing function gigs and things like that. I chose creativity over so many things for so long. Into my, you know, mid-30s and stuff like that. So I did sacrifice a lot. I did sacrifice a lot of partying and things. I mean, I did that as well sometimes too, you know, but like I did a lot of sacrificing to get to the point of being able to do me. You know? So there's a bit of that.
And with all of that, there was a vision, like you say, we were saying before, there's a lot of visualization, there's a lot of like planning, there's a lot of putting it out there, knowing where it is that you want to go, or at least having an idea of
Definitely. The shower.
Yes.
That's where I do. I think in the shower.
Great.
My poor water bill, like, I think it's me. It's probably, sorry honey, it's me. I'll stay in that thing for like half an hour. Like I do a lot of thinking in there, which is why I'm building this steam thing. And the steam thing also has a shower, by the way.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just to like, this is where I find time to think and to do all that. Funny enough though, like now that we're starting to plan children and all that, my thinking is changing. You know, I'm not as determined, let's say, to just be the greatest trumpet player in the world. I love playing the trumpet. I love putting out music and stuff like that. But there's so many things. There's so much that life can bring, and I have been dedicated and have these. I've had these horse blinkers or whatever on for so long. You know. Where it's now nice to be able to understand build things, learn how to do other things, right? Not to say that we'll always do what we do, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's a blessing to be able to play an instrument and have people feel something as a result. You know, it's there's nothing like it on earth, and it's been my passport to the world.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's a great way of putting it, yes.
And it's been, like I was in Brazil once in 10 years ago now, in 2016. I was there for 4 months and I never paid rent anywhere. I just had people like, no, come stay with me, come stay with me, bring the trumpet, you know? And that was just like, man, as a result of that, I was like, this thing's important, you know, this gift that I have. So yeah, it's important to keep. I have a friend who's an amazing pool player, and I think he heard me one night. Maybe I wasn't sounding as good as normal or something, and he was like, just in a really calm way, he's like, "Gotta keep the sword sharp."
Wow.
Yeah, kind of thing. And he does. Like, he's in his mid to late 40s or whatever, and he smokes everybody, and he's always practicing. He's always getting on it too, but he says, if you got to balance it all. You got to balance it all. Make sure that that talent that you have stays that talent that you have.
Yeah.
And don't ever drop it.
It's like working out. It's like keeping a fit body.
It is.
That shit ain't free.
No, that shit ain't free.
It ain't free. I've seen some older pictures of me and I look trim. I look nice. Not so much right now. Because I haven't necessarily kept going back at it. Do you know what I mean? But it's great. You've got to keep it sharp. What other bits of maybe advice or little bits of wisdom that you picked up where you're like, actually, boom, that stayed with me. What that guy said, what she said at that point.
So it's the line that I added to Miles, to the new version of Miles. We were looking for something to speak about tone and sound, the sound that you produce when you play your instrument. And I said, I've got a great story. We need to add it to the play. So one day I was in New York. I spent some time there. I did one of my albums there. And I spent a bit of time there, and I was in a soul food restaurant in Harlem. I had my trumpet on my back. I think I was paying for the food, and this guy comes in, bit worse for wear, and he sees the trumpet, and he's like, "Is that a trumpet?" I said, "Yeah, it's a trumpet." And he's like, "Your tone's the first and last thing everybody hears. Everything else is notes in between."
All right.
Whoa. Hello.
Yeah, exactly. You want a drink?
Yeah, literally. So we started talking. Wow. I think I did buy him a drink, actually.
Right.
And I was like, "Who are you? What's going on?" And he's like, "My mom used to clean all the jazz clubs. She was the cleaner. And I used to sleep under the piano in all these places growing up." He must have been like, I don't know, 50s. It wasn't old, but he wasn't young. And he was like, "So, I heard a lot, I got to see a lot," but he clearly was like homeless. And so we were just talking for ages, and it was great to hear his story and who he'd seen, and just talking about the beauty of the music and stuff like that. And then he was just like, as I was leaving, he just sort of recapped and said, just remember that. It's the first and last thing people hear, the tone, your sound.
Yeah, man.
I was like, fuck, that's so profound. So we added it into the play.
Amazing, great.
And said Miles said it to me.
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing Miles would say.
Right.
That is a Miles-esque.
Right. And maybe it came via sort of, and right back to him in a way. And so we added, and so that was, I'd say, one of the lessons.
That's an incredible
not even from a musician. Obviously, I've had so many lessons and great bits of wisdom from so many people, but this guy, that's the one that I remember.
Yeah. But it came in such a profound way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's great.
It came like an angel, an angelic sort of
absolutely.
statement.
That you needed to hear that. At
Yeah,
that point.
yeah.
And whoever walked through that door was going to deliver that to you.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Wow.
And I still think like that. And, I do feel personally that the trumpet is one of these instruments that most people do not want to hear because most trumpet players' sounds are so paper thin and annoying. It's like a mosquito. Whereas if you work on your sound, develop it to the point of this, which is why I love Wynton Marsalis and Clifford Brown, and I'd say Chet Baker has that sound as well. You know what I mean? That big, warm, round sound. And Miles is the king of all that. Miles is the one who, there weren't that many people before him. There was a trumpet player called Fats Navarro.
Okay, yes.
And he's kind of an unsung hero. He's sort of somewhere in between Dizzy Gillespie and Miles in terms of ability and range and playing ability and soulfulness and sweetness as well. And he did have that sound, that breathiness. but not like Miles. Miles kind of took it to a whole different point where he's like, no, this is a wooden flute. It's not a trumpet. And let me express that. He always talks about the Japanese sound and stuff like that, and that's what he was going for. So like, he is the godfather of that for trumpet, I feel. Maybe someone might say otherwise.
Well, how are you getting that tone then? So, practice.
Oh, it's...
But how do you refine yourself?
Well, you hear it or you don't, I think. You can practice. Equipment does help. You can get it with equipment, obviously. But like consistently having the same sound with whatever you play. I remember, so there was this one time, Winton did a gig and we brought him back to the crib. And like a bunch of us know him here in London. And he came back to our King's Cross council flat and got a haircut too. It was hilarious. And was playing chess. Like, so I've known him for a while, and one of my other friends has known him for a while too. And so we just nabbed him and said, "You just want to come hang and like eat some food and get a haircut and stuff?" It's like, yeah, come on. So he came to the house of my friend who was like he's an actor, but he's an amateur trumpet player as well. So he had his horn, I have my horn. Winton had no horn with him. It was one of the most beautiful times I've had with Winton, because I've had many great times.
Fantastic.
But this one was so soulful and like just in the house, and my friend who does a bit of barbering was like, "Looks like you need a bit of a haircut. Do you want to shape up?" He's like, "All right." We had Winton with us. Great. And we had the horns in the house, and I was like, we got the horns. I said, "You can play mine. It's better than my friend's, which is like a beginner horn." He's like, "No, give me the shit one."
Oh, amazing.
I said, "I want the shittest one."
Yeah.
And he sounded like Wynton Marsalis.
Naturally. Great.
It didn't sound like some guy trying to figure something out.
Yeah.
He sounded like Wynton Marsalis on crap horn, student horn. And that's if the sound is in the ear.
Yes.
And if you've studied enough as well, been able to put yourself in the position of just listening and listening over and over, then that sound will get into your ear.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you won't.
Then it won't. I remember when I was having sax lessons from my teacher, Michael Parlett, and he took my alto and played it for a bit. Yeah. My alto was 400 quid. It was a Jupiter 500, entry-level beginner saxophone. Yeah. Remember him playing it, and I'm like, woo!
Yeah.
The sax could do that.
Yeah, right.
It could sound like that. It don't sound like that when I play it.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like, yes, sure, equipment can get your thing. You can, with a sax, you can change your mouthpiece. You can change your reeds. You can change your crooks. You know what I mean? And Yanagisawas sound a little bit different from Selmas, which sound a little bit different.
But if you don't have that equipment one day,
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
What are you
gonna
do,
go?
man?
Oh no, I can't play on this. It doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, exactly.
Just gonna get on with it, aren't you?
Yeah, man. Because really, you sound like you.
You sound like you.
You can give 10 people the same horn and have them all blow it, and the horn's going to sound different. Yeah. With every tone. And not even just how they play, but the tone itself, the shape of your mouth.
We are different.
We're all different.
We're all different.
We are all
and that's
different.
the beauty of it.
I need to run and use your loo. Let's pause for a second.
Go. I need to do the same. Or you have your sax as well.
I have my sax as well.
Is that
That works. Yeah. So, all right then, let's do this. I'm going to ask you one more question. I end all my interviews with this question.
Okay.
What is the single most valuable opinion that you have of yourself?
In terms of like positive,
the most valuable one. So because that's the thing, and I'm glad you said that. I asked this question because we have so many opinions of ourselves. Yeah. And they come and they go. They're like clouds almost. You know what I mean? They pass. And some of them aren't even our own. Probably a lot of them aren't our own. They're our parents' voice. They're our school friends' voice. There's so many different opinions that we have.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in knowing what is the one that you have found to be most valuable?
Interesting. It's really wanky.
As wanky as it needs to be, mate. What a statement. Carry on.
Empathy. And like I feel like, and because of my upbringing a bit and my childhood a bit, I have come to a point where I have a lot of it, of empathy for various things. I might be an asshole sometimes, but I do have the ability to empathize for many different reasons and points of view, and to get on, like, to be able to get on a level with someone, and empathize with their situation or whatever. I feel like that's the thing that's brought me to the point that I'm at today, and having the wife I have today, and the life I have today is as a result of being able to listen sometimes and not always talk as well. So yeah, I would say that, but not to get too deep on it, but I guess this will get it deep. But that comes from my little sister who passed away.
Oh my God.
When we were young. Yeah, because that's all she was. She was just a big, like everything that she ever had, she gave to me. And she was like 2 when she passed, and I was 4. So she was my first memories, was just this little girl, and and how she used to be, and her vibe, and she was so giving. She was so lovely, and she was my best friend, and like I'll always remember her. I'll never forget her. And she was that, like, as a 2-year-old human being, she had the ability to say, have mine.
Yeah.
Throughout everything, all the time, and she gave me that kind of, and I'm not saying that I always have it in everything that I do all the time, but I think knowing her gave me that spirit of empathy and seeing what she went through and being there when she passed, and you know what I mean?
Wow.
It was a lot. It was heavy.
Yeah, of course.
For all of us.
Of course.
So that, at a very young age, I guess gave me the ability to kind of like stop and take check and notice what the situations are around me, and take notice of my fellow people around me and stuff like that. Maybe a little more than I would otherwise. So yeah. There's a little
No, brother, what was her name?
Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was my baby. And I just wish, but I still have her in my heart, and I still feel like she's around, and I do feel like I have to live for her.
Yeah, definitely.
Because she's not here and wasn't able to live on this planet, this beautiful planet that we have. Wow, it's incredible. Another thing that I like, just to go back to it, is astrology. I love, sorry, not astrology, astronomy.
Astronomy.
Sorry, not astrology. I really love, like every single night, I listen to space news. I watch, I seek out, that's how I go to bed.
Wow.
I listen to Anton, and I'll send you a link to Anton.
Okay.
Anton, he puts a new video out every day. And he is like a scientist, basically, who's able to translate science papers to everyday people.
Okay, sure.
And he does like a 15-minute video every day, this guy. Deep knowledge. And he's got such a nice, caring voice.
Yeah.
And he's just like a beautiful human being.
Great.
And he always like has the best up-to-date news about space.
Fair.
And that really brings me into this whole like understanding of nothingness and empathy a little bit as well. Because the more that you think about yourself is the less that you think about others, I guess. And it's, you know, it's nice to be able to understand what's around you, basically.
Sure.
And the way to really understand that is to know what's out there.
What's going on up there.
Yeah.
Our ancestors used to read the stars.
They
And
did.
that'd be how they got around. That's how they know storm's coming. Or shit's gonna get weird over the next couple of months.
I've
All
met
of that.
Quincey Jones 4 times, and every single time he's asked me my star sign.
This has not got a great memory there.
No, on the 4th time, I said to myself, I literally said to him, we've been over this.
I play the trumpet.
Obviously, you meet other people. But
Yeah, I can imagine. Probably.
yeah, well, what's your star sign? And the last one was so cute because it was at the Montreux Jazz Festival.
Amazing.
And he was just sitting there like on his throne with a queue of people just, you know, at the jam session. It was 3 in the morning. My
Fair
man,
play to him.
yeah,
Jeez.
my man's just there with Shania Twain beside him, chilling, having a great time. Looked a bit suspect to me then too. But anyway, and I finally got to the top of the front of the queue again to see Q, and he's like, "Hey, baby, how you doing? What's your star sign?" And I was like, "What do you mean, I'm a Cancer."
Yeah.
He's like, "Where you from?"
Hence the empathy.
And yeah, there you go. He's like, "Where you from?" I said, "Vancouver." We've been over that as well.
Yeah,
But anyway, Vancouver. And he's like, "Oh, wow. What, the 419 Club, the Deuce, the 24, the 72. I remember Vancouver because he's from Seattle, which is
Okay.
only 2 hours drive.
He's local.
Yeah, local. So he used to play in Vancouver back in the 40s. I never knew that. And so he's telling me about all these clubs. You know, and I was like, no, Pops, I'm sorry. They're not around anymore, right? We had such a great chat. That last one was really nice.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and he's
Amazing.
like, so what you doing? I was like, I'm about to play trumpet in the jam session. Oh, go on then. And, you know, I was like, man, this is so cool.
Oh man, that's great. That's great.
And then dickhead saxophonist in the jam session. Oh my God. I don't even know your name. If you see this one day, maybe I'll keep it a bit vague because I don't even know his name myself. He played with a really big artist,
Okay.
American female singer, who we all know.
Okay.
And he was not running the jam session. He was just taking part, but decided that he would kind of run it a bit. Anyway, we get playing some Herbie tune or something like that, right? And he did a solo, I did a little solo, he did another solo, like a full another solo.
Wow.
2 solos,
That's not how it
one
goes.
song. And then the song finished, and like he's got his like back to me the whole time. He's announcing everyone, doesn't give a shit about who I was or anything like that, right? Decides to then spiel about what his Instagram handle was on the mic at a jam session.
That's crazy.
Why would you do that? You know, and I see you there, Quincy. www.
Yeah.
You know, all this kind
And
of
Quincy's
stuff.
like, what's up? www. Do you know what I mean?
just-
Give me a pen.
It's just one of those where it's like boom, 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 boom. But the other time, and this doesn't have to go on the thing, or maybe you wanted to, but the other time it's a funny story.
Cool.
It was not funny at the time. But me and... Have you ever played...